We are friends united.
We are friends united.
We are friends united.
Together, we are friends united.
This one pile is over here. And that's how you get your spring steel out.
Good morning, Eric, brother. How are you?
I'm very good. Very good, thank you.
Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
I know you're living right next door, so it was like a 30-second walk.
Yeah, I could stumble over.
And we had such a good conversation this morning already.
Yeah.
I'm 57 years old, you're 56, I think?
56.
Every time I listen to you, I think I have seen nothing in life yet because your youth was so interesting, so different than your movie career, of course, but all the other things you're doing. It's always amazing to see what you do and how you do it. Last time we spoke about the masks. This was the background. You can see them there, of course.
Yep.
So to me, in my mind, you were really good with wood and a good mask carver, obviously. And then such a funny story. You come in there a few months ago and you asked me if there's a junkyard close by for cars. I'm going, yeah. And so fine, I guess you went there. And then you asked me if we have anvils here and vices and hammers. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we do. So we got those, and you got one, an old one from, I think, 1945 somewhere.
Yeah, 1944.
And I had no idea what was going to happen. And then someday, Lucas living next door says, yeah, I hear this hammering and banging sometimes in the evening and other times of the day. And you came in, something pretty sweaty here, and I still didn't know. And then suddenly you're coming with incredible knife. And I'm thinking, what just happened there? So I mean, I know I'm a car mechanic by trade years ago, and there's leaf springs. So then I got the idea you were looking for leaf springs from the cars at the junkyard. And I think you got the leaf springs.
Yeah.
But I had no idea, none, you can make from leaf springs knives. So you talked about katana swords. The first one you came in, you gave it to David, a small one. It's not a katana sword yet, but it looked pretty Japanese to me.
Right.
And then we can look at them in a minute, but however did you come up with the idea from going into wood, into metal, and being so perfect at what you do the first time? How did you do that?
You mean how did I get the idea?
Yeah, all of it. I mean, the idea, but then the perfection for the first time. I have no idea how you do these things.
There's your I guess it would be, by most people's standards, the way that my first attempt, it's not perfect.
Well,
nobody heard, but I'm out in the shed
it looks pretty good.
and swearing and screaming at it's me, and my dog's scared. I gotta keep telling Scooter, I'm not. It's okay, Scooter. I'm not. I gotta put him in the house so he doesn't get scared because I'm yelling at myself. It's me because I know it's not going to be perfect by my first. The original I used to take a few years ago. I started this whole thing started with my Japanese girlfriend, my half Japanese girlfriend at the time, Kat, dying in 2010, and she was the love of my life, and she died of a cancer-related stroke. And I thought, well, I have to do something to honor her memory, so I'll take up Japanese martial art. So I took up kendo, and I've always wanted to do kendo since I was a kid anyway, because I saw one issue, excuse me, of, we used to get National Geographic magazine in the 70s. We got one every month, and there was an issue, and there was a guy on the front of it, Japanese martial artist, kendoka, and he had the kendo men on, and I used to think, man, those things are really beautiful. I would like to try that someday. So the opportunity arose, and I wanted to honor my girlfriend's memory by doing that. So I took up kendo, and dojos are like, you got to find a dojo that fits. And I had torn my calf muscle at one point at this dojo that I went to, and tore it because kendo is really repetitive, and all martial arts are. But I didn't ask for it, but nobody offered me a ride home. And I was working at Vancouver Native Health doing outreach, and I've always overextended myself I still do to this day when it comes to helping people. So when I do something serious like tear a calf muscle, and guys from your dojo don't even offer you a lift home, it's like, this isn't my crew. These guys aren't like me.
I
These
get
guys,
it. I fully get it.
yeah, if you can't do something as simple as help one of the guys from your dojo by giving me a lift home, I didn't say anything. I just in my head I was just like, okay, and I just left, and that was the last time I went back. But I found another dojo at the Japanese language school, And there's a guy, our sensei, Kenny Sembokuya, and he runs that. He's a businessman, and he does this class for nothing. Like all they charge us is like a nominal fee for rent. It's like 60 or like $120 or something like that a year to show us this. He does 3 or 4 different things. He does Aikido, but the one I wanted to do was concerning swords, and it's called Aikido, or not Aikido, Iaido. And it's basically just showing it's Tamya-ryu Iaido, and it's a certain style, and it's 300 or 400 years old, and he just shows us how to do it for nothing. It's like 13, like a variation. There's 13 different moves or katas that you can do, and he shows us different variations of it. So we have these wood sayas that it's not an actual katana, it's a practice katana. So we don't cut each other open because there's like 10 or 15 of us in there swinging swords around. So we got the ones with no edge on it. They weigh as much. They're made out of like some composite steel. I don't even think it's steel. But anyway, there's no edge on it, so we don't cut ourselves and whatever. But it goes into a saya, a wood saya. And I fixed mine up one day, and I'll hit on something. I'll be sitting around. If I want to do something, if something is interesting looking to me, the process of doing it or the way that it looks, I'll just pick it up and start doing it. I don't care what it is. So I wanted to make geta sandals, the Japanese sandals, but they have little platforms on the bottom so that you can wear your outfit and stay out of the rain, because there's so much rain in Japan, like there is in Vancouver. So I brought in a pair of geta sandals one day, and it freaked Kenny. We call him Sensei. He doesn't like, and this is why I like this guy. It's like you're supposed to call your sensei Kenny Sensei or whatever the name is, like Luca Sensei, Josh Sensei, Rolf Sensei, if they're your sensei. But he didn't like that because he was just one of us, is in his mind. He didn't elevate himself to that.
Was equal.
Yeah, we were equals, and that's how we like to. So he's please, this Kenny. But he saw my sandals, and then I fixed my saya with, because you're constantly taking your katana out of your saya all the time, and it starts wearing away on the blade side or the point side where it comes out. So we have to fix them. So you have to put wood in there and glue it, sand it, do all this other stuff. So I did my own. You should take it into somebody who knows what they're doing. I didn't know how to do it, but it's like stuff I like doing, so I'm just going to do it. So I did it, and I put dyed leather on it and snakeskin, and then laced it shut with this dyed black buckskin leather, and I took it into Iaido class, and our sensei Kenny was like, he's the same age as me. I think he's a year older. I think he's your age. I think he's 57. But he looked at it and he said, "You should be in Japan making weapons."
Wow.
And
okay.
And I thought, well, I really like knives, so then this is the perfect opportunity to try it. So I thought, I'll start small and I'll make a tanto, which is just like a close quarters Japanese fighting knife. So those car springs that I got, I just heated. I made a forge out there out of coal from Kent's.
I've seen it.
Put a blower on it underneath to make it hot, and put the spring steel on top. Grind out the shape that you want, and then you throw the spring steel in there. Get it red hot, smash it flat on the anvil and then you just start grinding it, and then that's it. And I used brass fittings, and this has to be shined up, but this is walnut. So I'm just going to use cherry, walnut, and ebony, but this is walnut, and these are brass fittings from brass bar stock I got on Amazon. This is from a car spring steel. It's a little skinnier, but I chose it because it's strong. It's extremely durable, and it holds an edge. It's tempered already, and I was watching David up on the roof, fixing the roof last summer. I was like, look at this kid. because
He's a hard-working guy.
yeah, like he's just up there slaving away in the roof like it's nothing. He's like a machine up there. He doesn't. You don't see him going like doing anything. He just works.
He's 15 years old and he works all the time. Yes.
Yeah, and he anyway he I showed him the fittings to I didn't even show him the knife. I showed him the fittings, and he was like, "Whoa!" And I thought he really digs this. So I thought I'm giving him this knife. So
It honored him. Look, this is the first one he ever did. The smile on his face. Wow. I mean, he came home. I said, "Where did this come from?" He said, "Eric made it." I said, "Wow." Then I really realized what he had done all this time. And for him to receive the first knife was such incredible honor to him. So thank you for that. I think he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. But you do that anyways. You help kids all the time, and I love that. So then you started a second knife that looks completely different, I guess this time for Lucas. Again, I'm thinking it's car spring steel.
Yeah, I really like. There's two different. I love Bowie knives, and there's a film. What's the name of the film? I've never actually seen it. Tommy Lee Jones is in it, and Benicio del Toro, and it's called a Tom Brown tracker style knife. It starts off and then it disappears. There's a receding blade, and then it comes back up again. Anyway, I like both Bowie knives and this Tom Brown tracker. So I mixed the two together, and I used truck steel from the spring steel from a truck because it's a 1/4 inch. It's really thick. This is sort of this with steel on this. Tanto is a lot thinner.
Absolutely.
It's more delicate. It's a little more elegant. I wanted just a banger, just something real that looked like you could kill a tiger with it. And as the first sort of hunting or bushcraft or survival knife that I made. So same thing. I just I design the look. You put it on a piece of paper. You draw it, and it's a full tang all the way through. You just put it on paper, and then you cut it out, and you take magnets, and you put it on you take the spring steel, same as this one, heat it up till it's red hot, bang it flat, let it cool off, and then grind it down, and then take the cutout of the paper and put magnets on it, and then you just spray over top. I use white spray paint, and I just grind the outline out, and all it's just like constant, endless grinding. It's really super sharp. I put a hex bolts in it, so I actually have a bone handle, so you can unscrew it and then put the bone in if you want. If you get bored of the bone or the walnut, you can have 25 different handles for it.
This is a pretty heavy one, very interesting. Of course, it's cars or like trucks.
Yeah, it's just like heavily polished. I think I polished it with like 4,000 grit.
So that's like, just let me get this straight. What you're doing, you heat it up, and then you just hammer and hammer and hammer up until you get it into the right shape.
Yep.
And then once you have it there, you start grinding up until you get it in the right shape.
Yep.
And you do that with all the really simple tools. I mean, you have the simplest of tools over there. You have an anvil, you have a vise, you have nothing that's really special, but with the little you have, that's what you produce.
Because I see guys on YouTube, and they got like, really expensive hammers and stuff, like those electric hydraulic hammers and stuff. I don't have anything like that, but I think if you use sort of rudimentary things to begin with, it teaches you a lesson.
Yes, absolutely.
To stay close to your mitts and use your hands more than you would a machine. And it's and the other thing is that I didn't know that stuff is really tough to work with. You got to fight with it to get it where it is, because Gerry and Darren wanted some knives made, and they gave me 1095 just regular knife steel that we all use to carve masks. And we're like, they saw my knives and they're like, "Can you make us some carving knives?" I'm like, "Yes." So I made Darren one. I'm just in the process of making one for Gerry.
And I took his 1095 steel. He drew the outline that he wanted, and I took it over and just started grinding it. I think I was done in 3 or 4 hours, something like that. But that stuff, 1095, is like butter compared to that. So I'm really glad that I learned with no tools on the toughest steel that they make. So now everything else, when I start using knife steel, will just be like nothing. So
you're making knives right now, carving knives for the masks and the totem poles for Gerry and for Darren?
yeah. Whenever they need whenever they need a blade, they make the handles, and they just give me they have the 1095 bar stock steel,
yes.
and they just trace it out, give it to me, and then I'll grind it out and give it back, and they put the handles on it. It's just like endless grinding, like repetitive things, but that's how you get good at anything. And same thing with Gerry. I don't know how to carve poles. Gerry does. He's been doing it for 30 years. So what do I do? What do? You shut your mouth and you listen to the guy that knows what he's doing.
Absolutely,
And you sweep
yes.
the floors.
Yes.
And all you got to do, it's amazing that people take that personally when they get told what to do. Tell me what you have to be told what to do. It's okay. It's okay to subjugate yourself and just be an apprentice. That's all you got to do. And I don't have a sensei to sword make, to make katanas or knives or anything. So I have to do it myself and then just learn through mistakes. But I know I read once, or I saw it online, that first year apprentices for if you want to make katanas in Japan, those sword makers make you make coal for 1 year because they want to see if you're committed. You can't do anything. You're not picking up a hammer. You're not doing anything. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna sit here, watch what I do, and you're gonna make coal for my forge for 1 year because they want to see your level of commitment. And it's no different with Gerry and making. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll do whatever. Just sweep the floors and just chop away and make sure that I do exactly. And the thing about, to me anyway, is about doing exactly what your sensei or if you're doing an apprenticeship program with a carver, if you do exactly what they say, if it messes up, it's his fault. It's their fault. It's not yours. It's like, I was just doing what you told me to do.
Yeah, I fully understand.
So that's another reason why you should listen. Don't go off on your own and think you can do. I would never, like Gerry's artwork is so kick-ass. I would never think of going off on, or if I was apprenticing for anybody, I would never think of going off on my own outside of what they told me to do, because it's not, that's not your job as an apprentice. You're like I said, you're just supposed to listen and do what they tell you to do. And then because if and the reason being is if you pick, like who was it? Was it Rod Stewart? A lot of people have said this, but if you surround yourself with good people, that's the key. If you're a kid, if you're a teenager, if you want to do this, that, or the other thing, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, whatever profession it is, just make sure that you're surrounded by good people, because when you're done, and you listen to them, you'll be as good.
Absolutely. We have a saying in German, tell me who your friends are and I tell you who you are. So that's exactly the case. The people you surround yourself with in many ways shape you, influence you, and that's a really important part. And that's what I like about Friends United. You are living here most of the time. Gerry is and others. Your story is truly inspiring children every day and teenagers, and they need so much inspiration these days because it's such a crazy world out there. I know the other day you went to university and you talked to some business students. I'm sure it must have been very interesting and rewarding for them to listen to your story, how you grew up as a teenager, child, had a really, really rough life, and how then you make all these incredible good decisions in your life. I mean, sure, some didn't work out right away, but we all had it, we live and learn. And then you come up with all these interesting things you do. Again, the acting is one thing. We just spoke a few minutes ago about The Last of Mohicans. 30 some years ago you played in that.
Yeah.
And how that started your career as an actor. And you share all those really interesting stories, and then you go from there where you lived on the streets for a while and you helped kids and you had a rough life because you had such a rough upbringing. Then you pulled yourself out of that. Then you got more into script writing, acting again, making masks. The story of your life gives incredible hope. And I didn't know this. You can on Facebook and on YouTube, I guess, put comments underneath certain videos. And I read what people talked about, or what they said, the comments after our last interview. It was truly inspiring. And that tells me, again, you give hope. And that's always what I'm hoping we can do at Friends United. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being part of what we do. Thank you for inspiring kids. In fact, let's talk about my own kids. You made this knife for Lucas, my son. He's very happy and is very proud. You made the other knife for my stepson, David. He was very happy, and it really inspires him too, I guess, no matter what the age is.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm moving up. I'm gradually. My MO is to gradually sneak up on a actual katana. So I started small with the tanto. The next one is for you, and it's going to be a wakizashi, which is a short sword. So samurai wore the regular long sword and a short sword in case they lost their long sword in a fight. Then they would whip their short sword out and use that. So that's the next size up. And then I'm going to make an actual katana for myself. And then, so as far as I know, my Iaido sensei, Kenny Senbokuya, said that if I made a proper katana, he would promote it. So I have to make one that's good enough so that it's sort of up to his standard of because I know just when we're doing Iaido, we have to every once in a while you have to do a demonstration, because Kenny senseis, these guys that are in Japan, that are in their 80s, these OGs that have been doing martial arts forever, we have to shoot these videos of us doing our katas so that you can advance to the next level. So Kenny and his wife Naoko film us doing our demonstration, and he always says it has to be perfect.
Absolutely.
Because these old timers in Japan are looking for little minute details that are either missing or you did them wrong, and so Kenny always says it has to be perfect, like that. So that's how I want these to be, and that's how when I make this katana for Kenny Sensei to promote, it has to be perfect in like as good as, like, I don't know. I don't want to give anybody an inferior. My OCD just kicks in, my obsessive compulsive disorder, and so I can't, like, this thing, like little blemishes on it were driving me crazy. So you have to grind the whole thing down, and then because after you're just sitting at it after a while, like this, freaking out because every little blemish makes you crazy. So, but that's how you want to be. That's how I was taught by the guy that taught me how to carve masks. It's just get it, just make it. It has to be good. It has to be as good as you can humanly make it. To be any other way, to be sloppy about anything like that that's not how you do it. About anything, really, right? Like anything that you're making, just to be sloppy about it or not care is bad.
I think trying to go for perfection is always good.
Yeah.
Because if you try to aim for the highest, then you have a pretty good chance of getting that done. If you start with a half standard, of course, that's a different story. And they like that about you. Again, thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right, man.
Right on, brother.
We are friends united.
We are friends united.
We are friends united.
Together, we are friends united.